Hi, I'm Abby. I have a lot of records, and this is Vinyl Monday. So welcome back, or welcome if this is your first time here. Vinyl Monday is the series where once a week I sit down and just talk about a classic album I love. If 20/30 minute episodes aren't your thing, don't worry. I also do Vinyl Monday in 60 seconds, both here on my channel and over on my Instagram. I am wasting no time getting into this week's episode because this is a monolithic record. We have a lot to get through. So, this week's album is Are You Experienced by the Jimi Hendrix Experience? So my cover art was shot by Karl Ferris. He photographed it on a fisheye lens, which gives it that super cool photographic effect that we all associate with sort of the psych rock scene in the 60s, especially the Brits. And we also have kind of an infrared film effect going on here, where this green foliage is swapped out for a more pink tone. I myself am partial to a fisheye lens and the whole infrared deal. So to get inspiration for this album cover, Ferris was given an advance copy of the record, and he sort of listened to the music, as well as some early sessions for what would become Axis, to kind of get inspired and see what he wanted to do for this album art, and he ended up with this iconic yellow and purple contrast. I really love this cover. This sleeve was designed by Karl Ferris. That's a name we've heard a lot on this series. Hendrix first reached out to Karl after seeing the work he'd done for the Hollies. I think it's the Evolution album art, which he photographed with a fisheye lens. The guys had a 2-day photo shoot at Kew Gardens in London. I'm a dumb American, so I'm probably saying that wrong. The winning photo was taken on day 1. Karl worked out his own infrared film technique to get these gorgeous blues, pinks, and purples. He's always had a great eye for getting those hues. I love this jacket Jimi's wearing. It was a gift from Mick J's brother. You see in some photos with Marianne Faithfull that Mick J had a pretty similar jacket to this one. It was from a tiny boutique in London that would pull people off the street and have them model for the paintings on the clothes. That's so cool. One of you goobers should paint me on a jacket. Karl also picked out the clothes that the guys are wearing on this cover. Kudos to you, man, for picking out the feather boa. I love a good set of feathers. And he lobbied for the matching afros, which were just a gift to rock and roll history. But mostly me. Now, the UK cover by Track Records exec Chris Stamp, that wasn't a total disaster like the Axis cover was, or the Naked Lady cover of Electric Ladyland. But come on. This one is so much cooler. How do you even compete? The UK cover set the unfortunate trend of Hendrix never really getting what he wanted for his album art. The only art Hendrix ever really liked was the stuff that Karl Ferris did, and I respect him for actually taking cues from the music and listening to Hendrix's wishes. This is the US cover art by Karl Ferris. Karl was a young talent when he was steeped in that UK psych scene in the late 60s. He was in his late teens and early 20s when he was working with guys like Jimi Hendrix. Looking at this cover, I think this might have influenced Bruce Steinberg's approach for Janis's Cosmic Blues cover, and I'm almost certain that Electric Ladyland inspired the back cover of my favorite Robin Trower album, For Earth Below. This whole record is like a love letter to Jimi Hendrix, so I love that this cover kind of referenced US Electric Ladyland. And now for the doozy that was the UK cover. So Hendrix had awful luck with his album art. See the Axis Bold as Love debacle. He was not happy with this cover. So after the Axis fiasco, Jimi says, okay, let's go back to having different packaging between the US and the UK. That way there has to be at least one territory that gets it right. Right? right? Hendrix wrote out exactly what he wanted for an album cover, a full cover photograph by Linda Eastman at the Alice in Wonderland statue in London. The photo was taken, we do see it on the gatefold, but it's not that easy. It was never that easy. Reprise ignored him in the United States, put out this cover instead. Track Records, on the other hand, not only completely ignored him, but put out the Naked Lady cover. The exact opposite of what he asked for. Yeah, Hendrix was annoyed by that in the moment, but he finally got his wish with the 50th anniversary box set cover that I will show here. On Electric Ladyland, of course, we have the Jimi Hendrix experience. We have the man himself on vocals, guitar, filling in on bass for quite a few of these songs, harpsichord, and a homemade kazoo. We also have Noel Redding on bass, as well as acoustic guitar and lead vocals for Little Miss Strange, and rounding out the group, Mitch Mitchell on drums.